shit. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo da day. Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock. I'm the impromptu host, John Scarborough, and with me tonight is the lovely Dan Hollyfield and the also lovely Rich. Hi. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing okay. The dog's being a pain in the posterior, but she excels at that. She's a puppy.
That's why you buy dogs.
Yeah, our girl puppy was trying to get in the office as well.
Oh.
If you folks will excuse me, I got to go downstairs. Speaking of puppy problems, I got to go downstairs and take care of a dog problem. I will be right back.
All right. I think we can handle it. So, yeah, Joe Dog is either going to be late tonight or he's going to be totally absent. And knowing Joe Dog, he'll be really late and pop in and go, I was just checking in. And that's just his style. So bear with it. Other than that, things have been kind of normal for the end of winter in Northeast Georgia. It's been 70 degrees during the day in February and down below freezing point at night, which is normal. we had some fierce winds this past week, and I was going into the grocery store the other day to make sure that my wife had milk for her tea, and I just I like to got knocked over by the wind when I come around the corner of the store because it's blowing just head on into me, and I'm going, yeah, that's March wind right there. So we gonna have some kite flying weather next month. I'm pretty sure. So everybody be prepared. Get your kites bulletproofed and get that anchor chain to hold them down because it's going to be some fierce stuff. And I got a friend that keeps going, "Where's all that global warming I've been hearing about? It's cold up here in Pennsylvania." Donna, yeah. Um, checked in on the green room about 10 minutes after I left. I
Yeah.
thought I left when everybody else did. So, okay. Yeah, that's Joe, even though he's got it's not his room. He does want to check up on all the people that he loves so dearly. We're just lucky to be among that crowd and not the ones that he is not as affectionate towards. Remember, folks, he only rickrolls you when he loves you. If he hated you, he'd just get into an elevator with you and grin and get off. And about 30 seconds later, you'd understand why. The man can violate several strategic arms treaties at the same time
Yeah.
with a smile.
I'm dreading that part of HallowCon.
Well, basically, the thing is, if he walks towards you with a grin on his face, he's up to something.
I thought if he's awake, he's up to something.
Well, that's usually a good indication, but then again, he can be up to something when he's asleep too. He just hasn't woken up to figure out how he's going to accomplish this amazing feat he dreamed up. Um,
Fair point.
hello, Teresa. Good to have you with us tonight. Thank you for being here. Um, we are, as I said earlier, you might not have been around to hear. We are slightly Joeless at the moment, and that may be a permanent affair tonight. Just don't know. He had a lot of stuff he had to get done, and being a con director, that's understandable. You don't just start doing con stuff a week before it starts. You start the day it ends planning for the next year. And if Chris were here, he'd be able to explain a whole lot better because Chris is the HallowCon right hand man. John is HallowCon security as well as other con security.
I get to
So
I get to sit at the door and glare at people.
look fierce. The beard helps.
Badges, you know. I can do the dirty Sanchez mustache.
Trouble is, do you want to?
I think that might look kind of neat. I mean, I've actually, if you look the way my mustache is colored, it would actually look pretty good right there.
You can always get that Grecian formula and make sure it looks stand outish from the rest of the
I was
beard.
thinking about doing the mutton chop thing.
Yeah,
I was watching Zulu and Zulu Dawn the other day, and I was like, that's a pretty good looking beard and mustache thing you got going on there.
yeah. I've
But the
done
one I'd
that for
actually,
steampunk stuff, but
the one I'd actually like to do, it's just I don't think I can do it. I don't think my beard will do it because it's so gray and black. Is uh Jude Law plays Dumbledore in the new series.
oh yeah,
And he's got this awesome beard. I'm pretty sure it's a glue on, but he's just got a really sharp looking, neatly, kind of like yours, Dan. But
Oh yeah, well, mine's not glued on. This is natural, but
well, his is
thank you.
nice, like light brown, evenly colored light brown.
Uh-huh. Nope,
Yeah, he's
I
old
haven't been
enough
able to
that
manage that since the 70s.
yeah,
So
he's old enough that that's got to be Clairol. So
well, special effects are a thing. Uh, Sometimes I wish I had a makeup artist around here, but then
of
again,
course, we got our regular crew coming in. We got Donna and Carl, and let's see who else came in. Of course, Rich
Teresa.
and Teresa, and let's see who's the last one. What's it? Teresa Dunn. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. Welcome to the show. Thank you for showing up.
Yep.
Especially since Joe couldn't. Yes.
Yeah, I was explaining that, Lucy. We don't know what he's doing, but given the benefit of the doubt, it's probably something highly important in the Joe Dog world.
Well, that
Which,
or
in other
he
words,
had a Taco Bell
Donna
run
said okay. So.
Yeah.
Either that or a Taco Bell run and then terroristic threats against the sewers in his area.
Yeah. Yes, you do. We show up even when the show's on the wrong night. Yeah, well, I have been thinking, I don't know why we crank it up so late on Saturday nights.
Because of COVID-19, we had nothing to do.
No, I mean, why is it on at 11 on Saturday night instead of starting at 9 like Thursday night?
Because of COVID-19, and we had nothing to do late at night on a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, and now I remember that Last Man Standing started because people were too tired to have an after show party, and I wasn't. So I took it upon myself to be the stupid o'clock after show,
That
and it
Saturday,
took on a life of its own.
if we had a Saturday show at 9:00, I don't think we'd have half the people there that we do now, just because everybody's still doing stuff at 9:00 on a Saturday. So.
Well, that's true. That's true. Oh no! Thanks for the warning.
On the way. That's what tankers say when they pull the trigger on a main gun.
Sooner or later, it'll leave the barrel at warp 6.
Yeah.
Oh. Why did I put the heater so far away from me? It's time to turn it down. I've got the door closed. I don't want it to be 88 degrees in here again.
Last night, I was sitting here on my computer playing games and stuff like that. And I thought the dogs were wrestling downstairs. And I thought, it's awful late for the dogs to be wrestling. I kept hearing clunking noises. And I thought, oh, they found something to chew up. So I went down there to see what the heck they were chewing on. I'm hoping it wasn't a remote control or something like that. And as I start going downstairs, I hear oinks coming from the living room. The pig was in the living room. He figured out how to get through the dog door.
Pigs are more intelligent than people give them credit for.
Yes, he was. So I threw his bed.
Pigs are more intelligent than some people.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I threw his bed into the pantry. He likes to sleep in that little corner where in between the pantry, the bathroom, and the door that goes out to the garage because it's right next to his food. Again, pigs are not stupid.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh. Does it involve bail money?
You got to remember, Joe, is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? 2 out of the 3 does not count. If it doesn't meet the third criteria, well, according to you, everything is necessary. Why do I even try?
One of my favorite all-time video games to play is Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Okay.
And even though they've come out with Skyrim afterwards, and of course Skyrim's the new hot one, and they got an online thing kind of like World of Warcraft and EverQuest. But I still like playing Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, just the game, the landscape, the stories behind it. See, no bail money, and yes. Oh wait. No, it's not kind. It is
Yes,
relevant.
it is true.
And it is important.
Yes, it is necessary. Oh dear. See, there's always one, there's always one.
Well, anyway, I'm reading Facebook the other day, and this post came up about Terry Pratchett.
Oh, yeah?
And one of his favorite video games to play was Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Okay.
Which I'm like, cool.
Really, I never knew that about him.
I didn't either until then. There were 2 games, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and something else and they both influenced some of his later stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that's one of the things I like about Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is it has a really good story behind it.
That would have helped entertain Terry since he was such a fantastic storyteller.
There are there's you get your main quest, but it's got like 140 something side quest.
Holy cow!
And they all have pretty good stories. Some of them are goofy, but some of them have really good stories. And there's some of them, the stories are just so heartbreakingly tragic. It just tugs at your heartstrings. Like, oh no, not that guy. You hate to see those NPCs die.
Not red shirt number 3.
Yeah. But there's 3 or 4 of them that just real tearjerker, heart-tugging story lines in there. And you're like, how can they put that in a video game? They killed Old Yeller.
One of the best Dungeons and Dragons games I ever played in. Went off on a weird tack because we got attached to the random NPC we weren't supposed to get attached to because he was going to be a character to die to help spur the story in a certain way. And instead of going the way that the DM wanted it to, it became a vengeance arc.
Oh, yeah. They killed Kenny.
They killed Fritz. The dirty, rotten, stinking fairy bastards. They killed Fritz.
But yeah, so it's one of those ones that certain NPCs you don't expect to have such an impact on the story, and then it can take a campaign or a game in a completely weird direction, especially in a sandboxer.
Look at Star Wars. I mean, you had Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, R2-D2, C-3PO. Who has the best story right now? An
R2.
Unknown bounty hunter from Mandalore. And Yoda's illegitimate child.
Oh, now we don't know that.
Hey, we didn't hear any child support either. So.
I'll argue that
Yoda was a deadbeat dad.
That Kenobi was better than the Mandalorian.
Really?
I liked Kenobi a lot more than I liked the Mandalorian.
Now, what about?
And now I love the Mandalorian, but it's just something about Kenobi. Maybe it's just Ewan McGregor's portrayal of it that just puts.
Now
it over
he
the
is
top.
pretty good in that role now.
Yeah.
And really, I mean,
he is one of those. He is one of those actors that just really has that personality that when he puts it into a role, he claims the role.
You've got to admit that Alec Guinness set a very high bar for that.
Yes.
I was reading somewhere, Alec Guinness, being the classically trained actor that he was, never quite understood what George Lucas was trying to do. And
I don't think George Lucas understood what George Lucas was trying to do.
He was the only one that knew what he was trying to do. He just didn't know how to
express it to others.
How to get the other people to understand his vision. And if you look at the original Star Wars: New Hope, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, his acting's kind of wooden, like he's waiting for somebody to tell him what to say.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Harrison Ford thought he was the star of the show, so he was Harrison Ford. And Carrie Fisher was Carrie Fisher, and Alec Guinness was Alec Guinness, and Peter Cushing was, of course, the classic Peter Cushing villain. But after they all saw it, when it finally came out and it got edited and everything, and it came out in the movie, and it was the biggest thing in the 1970s, and they all understood what George had been trying to do. Empire Strikes Back, their acting was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the story wasn't that hot, but it was okay, but not.
I always figured it was because George told them to go and watch Seven Samurai before they came back to work.
I always wondered about. He was trying to get. He didn't want Alec Guinness originally. He was trying to get that Japanese actor from the Seven Samurai.
I can't pronounce his name correctly, so I'm not going to try. But I know who you're talking about. But
Fushimi. I'll remember it later. It'll come out. I keep wanting to say Kurosawa, but he's a director.
Yeah.
We want to get him to be better.
Mafume. Is that correct?
One. Yes.
Yeah. That's his last name, but
yeah, I can't. Well, actually, I think that is his first name because in Japanese.
Oh yeah, because it's okay. Yeah, you're right. Languages. Who knew?
Hello, guys.
Hi, Joe.
Joe Doug.
Hello, Joe.
He's got a grin on his face. He
That's,
either ate Taco Bell or edibles. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
well, Taco Bell are not edible, so that rules out.
Hey, if they ever legalize marijuana in Georgia, I'm going to open up a smoke shop right next to Taco Bell.
Okay, but you better invite the Girl Scouts to put up a stand next to the door year round.
Hold on. I got to shut my door. I'll be right back.
What you do is you open up a little Mexican joint, and then you infuse everything with.
And it would literally be a Mexican joint.
Big bamboo. That's what you call it.
In fact, that's what you can call it, Mexican joint.
You ever see these gas stations, the big convenience store gas stations that'll have like 2 or 3 little restaurant kiosks inside? Like you'll see a Subway, a Baskin Robbins, just stuff like that. Can you imagine having one of those? That's all it is, or a little bitty restaurant kiosk and the cannabis store.
We've already got almost.
It'd be like
I'd
Buc-ee's,
say a
marijuana.
third of the convenience stores in Clark County have a head shop kiosk in there, along with video machine gambling along one wall with another wall in front of it, so people don't really pay that much attention. But
So instead of Buc-ee's, Busby's.
oh yeah,
Busby's. Oh, I like that. Busby's.
That sparks a memory from the 70s, actually, Rich. There was a couple across the street from the apartment that I lived in. They brought this Frisbee over while I was sitting on the front porch reading a book. They brought this Frisbee over, and it had this weird little contraption in the middle of it. And I go, "It's called a Busby," they said. And I go, "Why? Does that thing make a noise when you throw it?" And they go, No, it's a one-hit pipe. You smoke out of it." And I'm going, "You got to cover your face with a Frisbee, and you expect to hold a lighter to the center of it." Uh-huh. Have you ever heard of flame retardant masks or something? I mean, maybe if you had a clear plastic ring where you could see where the flame was.
So
No,
are you getting high off the drugs or off the toxic smoke from the
Smoke from
plastic?
the plastic.
hey, believe me, the toxic smoke from the plastic would probably have been better than some of the stuff that was available back in the day.
Hey, Rich, you call it Busby's, and your motto is the little yellow jacket off the Mickey's Big Mouth Lager bottle caps. You ever see that?
No.
That's not going to go over well in Clark County. They'll think you're trying to advertise Georgia Tech in Bulldog
Hang on
country.
a second. This was, strangely enough, the Americans considered this to be the epitome of American beer in Germany, which I have no idea how it beat out Budweiser. But let me see. There we go.
This I got to see.
This you got to see. It's an unusually packaged beer, and it's not bad. I mean, I like the stuff, and I can find it occasionally. See, that's the one right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you see the little.
I've actually seen that.
Yeah, it's out there. It's just not incredibly popular. But for some reason, I have no idea why. When we did the German American Volksfest, they brought in all the German beers, and they brought in a bunch of American beers for everybody to try. So the Americans would try the German beers, and the Germans would try the American beers. And of course, they had Budweiser and Coors and stuff like that. But they had this too, and I'm like, who thought of this?
I don't know.
And the design down his side does look like a joint.
It's.
Is that where
I
you're
mean,
going, John?
Yes.
I've never tried it, although I have seen it.
It's pretty
It
good.
just it reminded me of it looked like the packaging was trying to be a cross between Heineken and Moosehead.
But it's what's funny is the bottles are about this tall. They're just really wide, and they have a wide mouth bottle cap on it. It's like Gatorade beer. I don't know. It's
Hey, look up Winkle's Old Peculiar. I got to go down the hall. I'll be right back. That was a very strange bottle for beer.
I
The
will
beer
wait.
wasn't that bad.
He's got to
I'll wait.
shade. He's got to shade his winkles.
Yeah, I'll wait till you get back to tell you the story of tonight.
Okay, let me.
I figured you'd wait till you were through eating, but
Oh, trust me, that's going to be a while. Because when I get done with that one, I got this one. When I get done with that one, I got this one. Hey, Carrie. I'm about to tell them about your experience.
I think I'm going to have to get him to look that up because it's obviously one of them things that I don't know how to spell.
John, you know who Peter Beerslayer is, don't you?
No. Not
The
that I
guy
know
that
of.
does the opening the champagne bottles with the sword.
Oh, yes. Saber.
Yeah. Yeah. Carrie hung out with them tonight.
So there was bail money involved.
No.
Oh.
But I'm waiting for Dan to get back because I need Dan. Dan needs to hear this. I know Dan can hear it. I want to hear Dan's reaction.
Joe,
Yeah.
did you get it on video?
I couldn't get my phone out in time. I saw what was coming and I thought, I should record that. Not too late.
Winkle's Old Peculiar. I do like that new search feature they put on Microsoft. Winkle's Old Peculiar, Discworld Terry Pratchett. No wonder I couldn't find it. I was looking for their beer.
And Daniel is back.
Uh-huh. And Carrie, I apologize in advance for everything Joe Dog is about to say.
Let me get these Fritos chewed up and get down.
Hmm.
Did you hear who they were? Who he hung out with for a little bit?
Yeah, Peter Beerslayer, yeah. And
And the traveling, and the rambling travelers, or traveler ramblers, or whatever.
I don't know about them, but I know Peter. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Or has
Well-
always been nice to me.
Yeah. Well, he had his whole crew, and they were outside at this hotel that we were at.
Best place to open champagne bottles with a big sword.
I was
Yeah.
about to ask, were they trying to set another Guinness Book World Record?
No, but there were cigars and bourbon involved.
Okay.
Oh.
I looked around and I saw Kiri with his live streaming and a cigar. And Kiri was just puffing away on the cigar.
Where is Carrie? Get in here, Carrie. Do we need to send him a link, or he's in the group though?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Nice.
And then all of a sudden, somebody hands Kiri a bourbon.
Red hair and bourbon.
Oh.
All I remember is seeing Kiri going, I'm going, turn around, dude, turn around, in the grass.
Oh, okay.
I felt sorry for our little Kiri because he was 50 shades of green.
Oh, well, a lot of people's first reaction to cigars is quite like that.
Yeah, and him and he didn't like the taste of bourbon, so that just made it worse.
Next
And
time,
poor Peter was seeing that, and he's like, no, I'm screaming, turn around. Oh, our poor Kiri. He grew up too fast tonight.
I'm sorry, Kiri. It's just one of those
they grew up
things.
so fast. Okay.
Well, about the Winkle's Old Peculiar, I'm glad that you didn't find any of the results because they do not have the bottle from the 1970s, which looked like a teeny tiny beer cask. And it was a wide mouth bottle. I mean, it was like a 7-ounce, a little bit wider bottle. So it was very short, wide mouth. And I just looked on Google and tried to find images of the old bottle, and ain't nobody got any pictures. Looked like a beer keg, made of glass, about 7 ounces of beer tall.
The ones I'm seeing look like a Guinness bottle.
Yeah, that's the new stuff. Yeah.
Wait a minute. What is this? I may have to ask the League of Extraordinary Beer Drinkers for some help.
Yeah. The only reason I know about that was back in the 70s, I was trying to sample every import beer bottle available in Clark County, where I lived
Yeah,
at the
they
time.
do have it in cans, and oh darn it, go back.
What? Never mind. That's the wrong thing. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
No, that's Theakston's Old Peculiar,
Yeah.
and it's in.
50 Shades of Green. Oh, Lord. No, I'm sorry, Kiri. Yeah.
He has peculiar taste, and it keeps coming back up over and over.
I'm sorry. You should have seen me first time I tried to smoke a cigar, and I promise you, bourbon was not involved. But um, there was a, shall we say, an embarrassingly explosive event followed shortly afterwards. I'm just glad that trash can was not one of the ones with the little swivel lid on it, because that's as far as I could make it right then. Uh,
Oh, just a few minutes ago, y'all were talking about the stars in Star Trek
uh-huh.
Yeah.
or
No, Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Yeah.
There is some film royalty as a major villain coming up in the new Picard series season this year. Amanda Plummer.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
She
that
played. Yeah.
is that Christopher's family?
kid. It's
Yeah.
his kid.
Uh-huh. I was thinking, whoa.
That's some film royalty there.
Yeah, really. And think of the homeschooling that might have been involved.
Oh yeah. And they say she is the baddest Star Trek villain so far.
Mm.
And we're not sure why.
Because she's good at it.
Not like she didn't have some good acting teacher.
Yeah, really. That was my point. Good Lord.
Oh, and thank you for that, Rich. Okay. Is that what you were talking about, Dan?
That's a mini keg.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
imagine.
I looked at that. That's the wrong one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not Winkles. That's that other one, Thurston's.
Theakston's,
Yeah.
Theakston's.
Imagine that as a teeny tiny glass bottle, and you'd have got close to what I remember. No, Carl. The quote is "Stop doing things." I know exactly what you're referencing.
Really bad day to quit snorting glue.
Yep. And it wasn't airport, but it was similar.
I picked a bad day to stop taking amphetamines.
And it was my favorite sea hunt star, Lloyd Bridges. Another fellow that surprised me at being able to switch to comedy
Oh, it's
so
he did it
easily.
that and the Hot Shots movies. First one he played the admiral, second one he played the president,
Uh-huh.
and they even made fun of Sea Hunt.
Have that removed. Trip for the crab. I didn't see a crab, sir. There's two of them. They work in pairs.
My favorite one though is the guy walks up, says, "Mr. President." He goes, "No, you're not. I know him. He's an old guy, gray hair." You quit going around telling everybody you're president. You think you're crazy.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, did y'all hear we may be having a presidential funeral real soon?
Yes. Lindsay was in tears when she told me the news.
Jimmy Carter is in hospice. What is he, 92 now? 93?
98.
98.
And he has chosen hospice rather than more medical intervention.
Well, at
Yeah.
98, I think he's
entitled to decide. I mean, seriously.
I mean, good grief. Look at what he was doing at 96 when
He's
he fell
still out
off.
there- He's still out there building houses for folks. Yeah. Seriously. I don't care what your opinion of him as a politician or as a president was, but he was a great human being.
Yes. Uh-oh, Kiri.
Mm.
Oh, boy.
Creepy McCreeper creeps.
I think that's an alias that Kiri is using to protect someone's identity. Even though from context, that identity probably is best hidden from reality for the rest of time.
Of course, hell, he named about half the convention. Where'd that come from?
I don't know. I thought you
Peanut
were
gallery.
at I thought y'all were at Connuga and not oh, now I can't remember the name of the other con.
Just frolic. It's frolicking around in your mind.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Lindsay and I got invited to that year after year after year, and I go, I'm hanging out with an influential crowd of people. It's not our style, but thank you for the invite. I'll take that as a compliment of the highest order.
Some friends of ours went to it, and the husband was telling me about the after they got back. Evidently they got this little ribbon that you can hang beads on, and each color bead has a different meaning.
Uh-huh.
And he thought they looked cool, so he just started putting beads on his ribbon. Yeah, that shit changed real quick.
Yeah. Somebody probably pulled him aside and explained.
No, they didn't explain.
Oh. More of a proposition than an explanation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Like I said, I took it as an honor that we were invited, given that Lindsay and I are more vanilla than the French vanilla ice cream at the grocery store. So, but we hang out with people, and they believe we were really cool, and we are accepting of other people's kinks. That's about it. They don't apply to us. We got our own kinks, and they're pretty normal too. Now, I was at a party where the hostess apologized to me for being the only straight person in the room. And a couple of minutes later, the perfect reply came to me, and I got her attention and said, Don't worry about it. I'm a science fiction writer. I automatically outweird everybody in the room by at least 50%.
All right, Kiri, you just want to make sure I told the truth and didn't embellish any.
No, he'll embellish later.
Yeah. Save it for the green room, though.
Well,
oh, and Rich, just to give you an idea about this convention that Dan and I are referencing, no matter how kinky you think something is, it's worse.
and there's a panel for it.
Yeah, and there's a panel for it.
And rooms devoted to each individual one.
And possibly a room party.
Yeah, especially. Yep.
What was that Bernard told me one time? Oh, don't lose your towel. If you lose your towel, go to your room and get a new one.
It sounds sort of like why I'm not very receptive to propositions that I should start wearing a kilt.
I would wear a kilt, but a full length skirt on me just doesn't look right. What, Dan?
I'm sorry. Just cognitive dissonance. Zero dog in a kilt. Not an image I really wanted to have in my brain tonight, but thank you very much. Nightmare fuel. Got
Oh.
knobby knees.
Do you remember that convention that was steampunk in Atlanta? Well, it was actually Marietta at the time.
Uh-huh.
Atlanta Steampunk Expo.
No,
No, this is the other one.
the other one. They had this room party, men without pants. So I showed up wearing shorts.
Got turned away at the door, didn't you?
No, because I won the argument.
Oh. On a
They said-
technicality.
They said, you can't have pants on. I don't have pants on. Those are shorts. Those are pants. No, pants are full length, goes all the way to the ankle. These are above my knee. These are shorts. They are not pants.
Yep.
Yeah, that convention director looked at me and goes, you're an asshole. Go on.
Yep. And I imagine your reply was, takes one to know one. Oh.
Learn from the best.
Hello, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Lindsay is thinking tentatively about adding Atlanta Steampunk Expo to our new conventions to go to, because it would be so close, and it is a different season from the other two that we habitually go to, and we would know everybody there, and the reasons why the other convention folded would not be there.
Yeah.
So,
Dan, tonight that reminded me. I was checking, there's a hotel just outside the convention center on the same street.
Yep.
Just across the street.
well,
I got to looking at their room rates in the month of June. $115, $112 on Friday, Saturday. Most of the month of June. Except for
the
Liberty
weekend of the convention, it goes up to about $300, don't it?
Damn near it.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
And they're not even affiliated with the convention.
They're just waiting for Brandy to pick an overflow hotel, and they're hoping they're it. And now Lindsay and I have already decided we're going to roll over our memberships. I've got to get in touch with our
Matthew.
Thank you. I could not remember his name. I've got to get in touch with Matthew, tell him to roll everything over. My email to Rich apparently was never sent. It was never delivered. I did something wrong with the address, so it never left my my Gmail account. So I'm not officially on the roster for people to be on panels, and I'm just going, look. It still hurts to drive a long distance, so we'll just take a break this year. No big deal. We will miss everybody there, but it's better than me getting there and having to leave in an ambulance 5 minutes later because I can't walk.
Yeah.
You remember how much I was relying on the cane and the walker at HallowCon that same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's much better now, and I think by this year's HallowCon, I should be able to do the 3-hour drive without too much problem. we'll be there whether it's too much problem or not. You
Now,
know.
just remember, Dan, Mike Jimmy, how long going to take him to get to HallowCon?
It'll at least be a 12-hour flight, if not 14 to 16 hours,
Yeah.
and then drive up from Hartsfield in Atlanta. And that's a good 90 minutes, even if he was experienced in driving in U.S. traffic. Yep. I'm not trying to make any excuses, but and besides, Lindsay's already got the table set up. We created a Frankenstein. She's hooked on being a HallowCon vendor. I may have to do that the rest of my life.
All right.
Yeah, soon as you offer lifetime memberships, you got my $100.
Well, I'm going to tell you might want to add a different number on the front side of that.
Why,
And don't
you think I'm going to live that long? Mm. Ah.
I forgot how crunchy Fritos is.
Makes its own sauce when you add water.
Mm.
Thank you, Frank. Mm.
What?
Frank Zappa.
Oh.
Yep. Song lyric, or not lyric, but interstitial audio between songs.
Oh, I saw a video of a chocolate chip cookie recipe from the 50s.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I'm really interested in this because it starts with a half a pound of bacon.
You got some splaining to do, Lucy.
You fry up a half a pound of bacon, take the bacon out, then start adding the flour, sugar, and cocoa powder into the bacon grease.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
Good thing you don't have to use salt or butter.
Yeah.
I saw something interesting today, and it was one of those things that goes, I've never seen that before, but it makes perfect sense, kind of thing. Bacon jerky.
Sounds redundant.
It doesn't it though, but I'd never seen it before, and it makes perfect sense. You know, it's just like, yeah, why wouldn't you make jerky out of bacon? It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but the only problem is, how long is that stuff going to last? Because once you crack it, you got to eat the whole damn bag.
Are you kidding? If you don't eat all of it by the time the frying pan gets cool, you are really making a mistake.
Oh, what was that restaurant? I'm trying to remember what it's called. They make bacon cheeseburgers, and if you get a to-go order, they give you walking bacon. It's like a little container, like for French fries, but it's got like 5 or 6 slices of crispy bacon in it.
I don't know, but somebody needs to give me the name of that place
so that you can eat the bacon while you're walking home with the bacon cheeseburgers. So
that's sort of like varsity onion rings. You get 2 orders of onion rings so that at least some of
one of them makes it home. Yeah,
at least one serving it makes it home with you. Seriously, I used to go to the taco stand and get a burrito deluxe combo and a jumbo spinach quesadilla and a jumbo taco, and then drive up to the varsity and get me an order of onion rings so that I would not get into the bag of taco stand food on the way to the house. You got to remember, I'm of the class of people that think varsity onion rings are about like getting just a big order of fries from McDonald's that are going to disappear before you get 3 blocks down the street.
Well, you know why you got to eat the McDonald's fries before you get out of the parking lot, don't you?
Because if anything's cold, they ain't no good.
You damn straight.
You know, to this day, I will still eat my French fries before I eat my hamburger. Because a cold hamburger ain't bad. Cold fries suck.
Yeah.
And they're difficult to reheat without a griddle. Microwaves don't cut it.
Or an air fryer.
Now, that
Okay,
is the-
air fryer,
that
I'm
is-
just beginning to have experience with.
That is one of the few things an air fryer is good for, is potatoes.
Lindsay made fish and chips tonight.
Now, I will tell you, Arby's curly fries in the microwave are good if you put cheese over top of them.
Okay. I can relate. My hash browns that I take to work with my sausage and egg biscuit, I'll take the cheese off the sausage and egg biscuit. I will put everything in the microwave for a minute 15 seconds, pull it out, start assembling my biscuit while I have salted and put the slice of cheese on the hash brown and put that back in for about 25 seconds. Just give the cheese time to melt. Pull it out, take it to my table, put salsa verde or street taco sauce on alternate days. One's red, one's green, and that's my breakfast during the week while I'm working.
I just read something interesting, and it already got my brain working. I was looking up bacon
Something
stuff, right?
needs to.
And one of the things that popped up was on Food Network. They've got bacon wrapped olives as a party food,
Oh, yeah.
which
I like bacon. I like olives.
regular olives don't impress me for that particular recipe. But I like to get the garlic stuffed olives,
Mhm.
and I bet those would be awesome wrapped in bacon.
Oh.
You do it.
Hey, Zach.
Hello.
We're talking about bacon and onion rings. And
I heard McDonald's French fries and bacon, and I had to
Yes.
appear.
American
Really?
bacon.
We
American
summoned
bacon.
him accidentally.
American
We're talking about
bacon,
the
not
easiest way to
Canadian
spell
bacon.
Bacon, not ham.
The easiest way is to commit suicide by heart attack.
Actually, I've got a jar of the rather large olives, and they are stuffed with blue cheese.
Ooh, I bet that would be good with that wrapped.
I love blue cheese.
Don't ruin an olive, just a black olive.
No, these are green.
Okay, they're green olives.
They're the size of a golf ball. They're green.
They take large green olives and they stuff them. And my favorite one, I've got some downstairs. They take a clove of garlic and stuff it in the olive, and it's in the olive. And of course, the blue cheese one's pretty good too. I've seen mozzarella cheese ones too. But
Yeah.
they're kind of bland.
My choice was between jalapeno and blue cheese and something that struck me as an atrocity, and I can't even remember what the name of it was. Now, I can't take too much jalapeno. I'm not a hot pepper sort of guy. I'm mild sauce all the way. But blue cheese, I try and limit my intake because I can overdo it.
blue cheese, I can't stand. Can't. I'm sorry, I can't take it.
Oh,
I'm
never-
not a moldy cheese person myself.
I never liked it much as a kid, but it's like pimento cheese spread. That's the one food I will not normally eat is pimento cheese spread. But my caveat for that is I probably just haven't found anybody that makes it right.
mhm.
I'm sorry. You go to conventions and don't eat a pimento cheese sandwich, at least one.
Nope.
And they're probably using one of the better brands of store bought.
I would probably have to make my own pimento cheese to make some that would be palatable. That's but
We do.
blue cheese dressing was the one salad dressing I wouldn't eat for a long time
Oh, it just.
until I started eating hot wings.
Oh yeah.
So
Uh,
I have not completely given up on pimento cheese, but
My mom used to make something for us when I was a kid. I mean, basically, she'd just get the top of the line pimento cheese spread and celery sticks, and just fill the trough of the celery stick with pimento cheese, and that would be a snack.
my
For
mom
us.
used to do it with cream cheese and
Oh, that
sometimes
sounds
walnuts.
good too.
Sprinkle walnuts on top. That's
Oh yeah, yeah.
crushed walnut, like a Christmas, Thanksgiving kind of food, finger food thing.
Oh, and I just posted on Stupid O'Clock a quick video about the bacon chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, okay.
He found an old, what is it, 1850s chocolate chip cookie recipe?
1950.
19.
Oh, B. Dylan Hollister or
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Instead of using butter, the recipe starts off with cook up a pound of bacon. Set the bacon aside, save it for something else, and use
Yeah,
the
really.
bacon grease to make the chocolate chip cookies.
While the chocolate chip cookies are in the oven, you've got bacon to eat. How can you go wrong?
And Zach's going, shut up, guys, I'm hungry. Shut up, guys, I'm
A
hungry.
little bit, to be honest. I just want you said bacon, and it's just
Oh,
Hmm. Well,
I'm going to have to go downstairs and bake a pound of bacon. That's just all there's to it.
Zach, if
and you know your pig is going to run away.
Zach's going to get mad
Loves
at me.
bacon.
I'm fixing to make
loves-
Zach mad at me.
a
Zach, if
cannibal
you're going to
pig.
talk about bacon, you need to shave your head and grow a beard. Zach knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm glad somebody does. That went right over my head.
some people's children.
Oh.
So, what rocket
people's
news
parents.
do we have? They put 53 Starlinks in orbit out of California the other day. Was it yesterday or?
Uh, Guess a day within 4 days, and you've probably done it.
Yeah.
And they landed, what, 173 in a row?
Yeah, I think that's what we're at now. It's been a long time. So we're waiting for one to fail.
Yeah, it's kind of like
It's kind of like NASCAR. You're
it's
just waiting
like
for a
NASCAR. You're waiting on the boom. It's,
Yeah. Just hopefully it's on the way down. So we got a lot of crews going up soon. So
Yeah.
what was it? Starliner's going to get another shot here. What, April?
yeah, but with people on board.
That's even scarier.
Are
That's
they actually going to launch one with people?
2 NASA astronauts, 8 days.
8 days from now.
No.
8-day mission. It'll be in
8-day
April.
mission. Oh, okay.
Well, they're hoping it'll be in April. Basically, they have an 8-day mission they want to do, and I think they have 14 days they can do it. Otherwise, the ISS doesn't have an open dock.
Oh,
So the U.S. only has 2 docks. One aims up and one's here, and like forward. And for some reason, this mission they have to use the forward one. They won't use the top one,
Right.
Because it's easier.
Well,
So-
I hear they're going to put.
is there a difference between the locking collars on the two docks?
Nope.
No, they're
Just
all
the
Oh,
angle.
that's
universal.
weird.
It's just the angle
I think
of
it's
attack.
an easier approach.
Oh.
One, they only come up 90 or 40, 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
And then the other, they have to go up 180 and come like down onto the station rather than. It should not make a difference with the systems they're using.
Didn't they put an arm on the International Space Station to catch stuff and maneuver it into docking positions? I mean,
Well, there's multiple now, but not for these size capsules.
Yeah.
And not for people. They were never designed for people.
I heard that NASA is going to put a handicapped parking space on the International Space Station for all the new Russian modules that are coming up.
They're going to have to put an airlock in a garage to park them in.
Yeah.
Air
Because they keep
conditioner,
leaking.
air conditioner repair shop.
The best part is the one that they got rid of, it undocked 2 days ago, was the cargo craft. That was the second leaky one in like 2 months. They undocked it, told it to do a little spin. The astronauts looked at it and they're like, there's no damage. So then they just held it there, like it moved away, so it was safe. But then Roscosmos is like, do we dock it back so we can investigate? And then they were like, after a couple hours, nah. And then they threw it into the Earth's atmosphere, which was the plan anyways. It's a garbage truck.
Yeah, really.
But,
it's going to go down in the exact middle of the Pacific, as far away from human habitation as possible.
Those don't re-enter the atmosphere, do they? They burn up. The garbage trucks burn up in orbit.
They should burn up, but they still
Yeah,
do
they
it.
should,
Try to
but-
do it over Point Nemo.
There's no use not being careful.
Now, is it the same docking port? Because I wonder if they broke the docking port.
Nope, different. The broken Soyuz is still on station.
Okay.
So that's one of the things they're investigating is something wrong on station on the Russian module that's like overpowering or doing something wrong, overpressurizing the coolant system? Because it's very odd to have this happen twice.
Yeah, the same problem.
The
on two
Soyuz,
different
you
craft.
know for sure, is a micrometeorite. We see the hole. So it's like, we're not sure how that is. And now they're launching another crew one. So we'll see, because the new crew, the rescue crew, as Russia will call it, NASA won't call it rescue because they get scared of the word. The rescue mission will dock to where this cargo just undocked. Then they're going to move a bunch of stuff out of the old leaky crew Soyuz into the new Soyuz. And then that crew Soyuz will come home and be recovered, or they're going to attempt to recover it. But it'll be very hot inside. But they
Yes,
still got another couple weeks. They got to make
Do
it.
they reuse any of those Soyuz modules?
Nope.
So why not just use it as next garbage truck?
They want to bring some old gear home, and they're like, we have extra weight, so we can bring more home, so we may as well use it. I think they also want to investigate why there's the leak. So, to see, but I mean, we already have photos. We know it was a micrometeorite strike. So, or at least something the size of it.
Wait a minute.
Don't they burn up the part that's leaking
Yeah,
anyway?
That's what I was about to say. The part that's leaking isn't one of the parts that comes back.
Yep. But it supplies the coolant to the part that does. So even once, so it has to cool. It keeps everything cool until the very last minute, and then like 15 minutes or so, I thinking it is before re-entry, that part separates and leaves enough coolant for the crew capsule to come home, and then it takes Russia about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour to open the door. But the moment it separates from the ISS, it wouldn't have coolant, so it would heat up just while it floats away, let alone begins its journey home.
Yeah.
So they said the astronauts would get 40 plus degrees Celsius before re-entry, and then re-enter. They'd be cooked.
Yeah, that's getting close to 80, 90 degrees. Yeah. I can't precisely convert Celsius to Fahrenheit in my head, but I've done enough with doing the conversions with my spreadsheets at work that I'm beginning to get a grasp of
104 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 104 minimum.
Oh,
and that would be before re-entry. And they still have about 2 weeks. There's 2 Russian cosmonauts on there. That's their only way home right now. And Russia's told them, you have to evacuate. That's how you're coming home. We're sorry. And we'll do the best we can to get you out as fast as we can. But
How much you want to bet they'll pile their ass into the Dragon?
Well, that's what the Americans doing. They've literally unscrewed one of the Russian seats from the leaky Soyuz, floated it across the station into Dragon, and then ratchet strapped it to the bottom of the Dragon where the cargo's supposed to go. And that's how the American's going to come home not plugged into anything because he has a Russian suit and there's no extra port, so he will not have a pressurized suit if there's a leak of the Dragon. But he's just going to ratchet himself down to the bottom of Dragon.
Oh, come on. You can't tell me there's not a single roll of duct tape on the ISS. You can make suit connections. Apollo 13 proved you can do anything with duct tape and cardboard and a couple of plastic bags if you really need to save your damn life.
Yo.
Are you kidding? If I wound up if I went on one of these astronaut trips where they send you to the International Space Station for a week or whatever, my little pack is going to have duct tape in it.
If you were going to the International Space Station, you wouldn't be on Stupid O'Clock.
Can you imagine live from the International Space Station? It's Stupid O'Clock.
Be fantastic.
Hey,
But-
don't laugh. We might be able to pull that off one day. We have friends in high places.
Well, not the International Space Station, but maybe one of the private ones.
No. No,
only has
we've
7
got
years.
NASA connections. Remember?
Are you going up in the next 6 years?
Mm,
I'll volunteer.
Do you have $100 million?
No.
Not yet. Let me check my lottery numbers.
Hey, if I had 100 million, I would really have something better to do with it than.
Do you remember I told you if I ever became emperor of the United States that I would start making lotteries for certain things, like a National Park Service lottery, and a
To get a park pass a year? Or?
no.
to
Put
pay
the
for.
money. It's just a regular lottery, but instead of the money, most of the lotteries in the United States, the money goes toward education funds, Pell Grants, that sort of thing.
Towards
Have one.
education funds.
Yes. Have one just for it. The money goes to the National Park Service to help fund the National Park
Can we
Services.
put it to the U.S. infrastructure?
Do what?
Can the U.S. infrastructure be a benefactor of one of them?
that's
Possibly.
part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, really. Can
National
be.
Park Service, war memorials, have a war memorial fund for funding upgrade them, especially things like aircraft carriers and battleships. Those things take a lot of money.
Yeah. Wildlife
Oh.
preservation. Hell, anything
And
worthwhile.
A NASA lottery, just to help pay for stuff for NASA.
Can you make it NASA with an asterisk and then science missions only? Launched
no.
on commercial vehicles only?
Mm.
No, quite the opposite. You make the government fund all the research and space vehicles, stuff like that. The NASA lottery goes to paying stuff for NASA, whatever they need, NASA people. You know, if they need to buy electric minivans.
No, they need new roofs. Every NASA facility is leaking. We've almost
There
lost
you go.
payloads because of their leaky roofs, but I think they said it estimated was, I think it was 100 million, 150 million they needed to fix all the roofs that are leaking right now.
Sounds about right. Especially Florida. Florida's bad about that.
That wasn't Florida. That was everywhere else.
Well, look at their infrastructure goes back to the late 50s, early 60s.
Now, Zach, I found a great way to possibly regain interest into the space launches. Grab a guy out of the crowd ready to watch the rocket launch. Send his ass up and follow the camera with him. Oh, hell no. No.
Zach
Sam.
Albert, come on down. You're the
Volunteer
next
as tribute.
astronaut on.
But as long as it's not Starliner,
The price,
Art
the price
Variety.
is exorbitant. Yes.
All right,
Hey,
you're dragging my ass on. What 5 people are you going to drag on so that the weight distribution works?
yeah, right.
yeah, but can
That's
you
what
see him?
impacted I-4, and that's where a lot of conversations about Dragon came in. Is like, really, 220 pounds is the capacity for a person on Crew Dragon? Do you know how much cargo it takes with it? Like, that should be able to balance. I mean, maybe don't put them on the far left or right, but
I don't think they're going to put you in the pilot seat.
no, probably. Why? It flies itself?
Yeah, it's an iPad. How hard is it to fly?
Have you seen me fly, Kirby? Don't answer that. You wouldn't put me on any rocket.
No, but with my idea, can you see them trying to shove the guy into the capsule? No.
No, I'm too young to die.
Honestly, I could see them doing something like that with New Shepard. That would not be hard to do with New Shepard or
What?
Virgin Galactic. Just plucking someone out of the audience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as long as you have a basic suit. Like,
and you have to have the heart and blood pressure to withstand G-forces.
Yeah.
Well, what mission was it they were training with somebody else's suits on SpaceX? Because their suits weren't ready yet.
All of them. So every crew trains using all the previously flown suits because they're all different sizes. So they find one that fits the best. Now, Haley Arsenault was quite short, so they're not sure they're ever going to use her suit again, or at least for a while, but they literally just have them all stacked and they find whichever one's closest.
I got to go on a funeral detail when I was stationed up at Fort Knox, and they sent us down to Paducah, Kentucky. And the funeral home was right across the street from an Army surplus store. Of course, we got there real early, and we were getting our uniform straight. And somebody broke one of the pins on their dress uniform. So we said, "Hey, let's go over to the Army surplus store, see if we can get another one." So we go over there, look at it, and this is a great Army surplus store. I wish I could remember the name of it. I'd love to give the guy some credit. But we walk in, and there on the back wall, above the register and everything, hanging up on the top, like a 2-story room, up top, is an Air Force high altitude pressure suit for a pilot, like kind of like what the Mercury astronauts wore, with the air conditioner, the handheld air conditioner with it. He only wanted $450 for the whole thing.
Have spacesuit will travel.
I was going to buy that thing, and I said, "Oh man, I would love to buy it." He says, "There's only one problem." He says, "What?" "They're custom built and custom fitted for each pilot." I said, "Well, that's okay. You know, I'm a good average build. I'd probably get into it." He goes, "No, that pilot was almost 5'4".
Just a little butter.
Yeah, but I would have loved to have gotten that thing, rework the air conditioner, make sure the air conditioner was working, show up at sci-fi conventions with your own air. Everybody's standing in line to get into one of the panels or something like that, and it's hot, muggy. You got your own air conditioner.
That'd be great for Dragon Con.
There you go.
Yeah, really. And you wouldn't have to worry about con crud.
Oh, I did find a place that will make me a SpaceX suit.
A real one or a replica?
Replica.
That's no fun.
I mean, it would be movie quality. I'm just not $5,000 into the idea.
See, like, I want one for the background, but not $5,000 of it. I mean, the helmet I have, I think, was $800. Did not pay that. I want it.
Oh. It's a shame you don't know some people that own rocket companies that might donate one for your background.
Can't just call them and. Well, that was one thing people were surprised, especially with Inspiration 4. We get the NASA crews. It's like that's their job. But we were surprised that I-4 and Axiom and stuff didn't at least get to keep their helmet or something, like their gloves, something from there. I mean, they've paid $55 million a person.
They didn't get to keep the suit.
They ought to be able to keep their suit.
Nope.
What's your
SpaceX
key in
property.
Well, the thing is, the helmet.
You get your underwear back.
Yeah.
It's dry clean, though.
It better be.
There's some websites that'll buy that underwear.
Haley Arsenault unboxed a box of her stuff that she was shipped 3 months after the mission, 4 months after the mission. And it was all her stuff that she had taken up with her. And it's all the shirts that they wore and the socks. And she's like I'm ever going to wear any of this again. It's all the space. It's going in a safe.
Oh, who was the one astronaut? One of the Mercury astronauts that took all the. He got in a lot of trouble because he took like little memorabilia of it
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and was going
Cooper.
to bring it back and sell it.
Gordon Cooper.
Gordon Cooper, and the thing was they weren't sure if he was going to sell the stuff like to make extra money or if he was just getting it to bring home and give to people as gifts and stuff like that. Say, I took this up in space with me.
Well, I know with Inspiration 4, they were all given a certain number of. I don't even want to say kilos. I think it was a couple pounds that they were allowed to bring, and most people I know. Cyan Proctor brought. It looked like 2 like 4-inch D-ring binders that were stuffed full of patch holders, pin holders, photo holders. So she brought if she had given one piece to one person, she probably could have given stuff to 500 people.
See, that's what I'd take as a whole stack of mission patches. Just I took this up with me. There you go.
Patches, stickers, pins. I mean, pins
Hey.
are a little heavier, but yeah.
Oh, stickers. Kids love stickers.
Contact Vistaprint. Have them do a series of post-it notes. Say, this piece of paper has been to space.
SpaceX does it for you.
Hey, baseball cards for astronauts.
They exist.
Space cards.
Well, they exist for I-4.
Baseball cards, yes.
No, I would contact, one of the little sticker companies. I'd have my own. And I actually saw the it'd be a sticker of a QR code. This QR code sticker went to space.
I know how this ends.
Can you see him rubbing their head? Can you see Rich rubbing his head of, oh God?
This better not link to what I think it links to.
It is.
Yeah,
Of course it
Joe well enough.
does.
Oh,
It's
hell,
Joe Dog. It's Joe Dog. What did you expect? How
Well,
long have you known him?
He got
mean,
the idea
too
from
long.
that drone thing they did out in
Yep.
California or whatever.
I am going to put one on my car.
A QR sticker that links everybody to
Yeah. See, Joe Bachman took it to the next level. He used a Bitly to the.
Our IT security tip for this month, if my boss will ever look at it and circulate it to the other managers so we can actually put it out before the end of the month, deals with QR codes and also one of the phishing tests that will be coming up this year will be dealing with QR codes. And just the number of people that just, QR code.
Oh man.
What?
I looked up Rick Astley and guess who just died within the hour?
President Carter?
No,
Rick Astley?
Rick Astley.
Oh,
No.
that's
Never
unexpected.
gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
You want to click the button, Joe?
Here's the problem. Dan, show your hands. Okay. Watch it. He'll come back. See,
Yeah,
we can't
see?
get rid of him.
It's like a
There's gotta
bad
be a
penny. He
block
keeps turning.
feature.
Yeah, there he is, but he's too useful to get rid of.
That's some of my team.
Hey, who do you think started the show tonight?
I don't
Plus,
know.
he makes good chili if you like it really hot.
Actually, that was an accident. I didn't intend for it to be that hot.
Well, still, it was good.
I make good chili, but apparently I also grow very good chili peppers. That's, speaking of which, I went and right before we got all this rain here the other day, I went and took a bunch of 5-gallon buckets we've got for planting plants. Raked up a bunch of leaves in the yard, put them in the bottom of the buckets, and then poured my old potting soil in on top of it. I got like 500 gallons of mulch going.
Didn't you end up with pepper plants this year that you didn't plant?
Maybe. I've still got pepper plants out there, but I think the frost has killed them all. But I'm not sure yet.
Well, December probably took care of them, but
Yeah.
but yeah, didn't you? Is it around the mailbox? Didn't you say those just sort of came up?
I'm not sure yet. What came up around the mailbox was pumpkins.
Oh, the pumpkins.
Pumpkins, yeah. Some kids busted our jack-o'-lantern right after Halloween. And I'm not sure how, because I pulled all the seeds out of the pumpkin when I made the jack-o'-lantern. But part of it grew. So I'm thinking the stem.
Well, that's possible, given the number of other things you can regrow from just the top of the plant that you would normally discard anyway.
Right. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I've been doing that green onion trick.
Yeah.
When you want to put green onions on your like baked potatoes and stuff, you chop the green part up, but you leave the bulb. And you take the bulb out and plant it. A few weeks later, you got new green onion. Yeah.
Yeah, really. And those are spring onions. So it's small. The bulb is actually very small.
Yeah.
And if you go ahead and replant it, and you're lucky, and it takes root.
We still got 4 of them. We still got 4 of them out in the greenhouse, and a turnip. I was making sauerkraut, and so I cut the top. I cut the turnip, shaved it, and shredded it, and you use a head of cabbage and a root vegetable. You use carrots. You can use rutabaga, or I use turnip because it's the German style spicy sauerkraut. And so I had the top left from the turnip. So I put it in some water in a cup. And it started growing roots. So we took it out and planted it. I've got turnip greens in the greenhouse from where I made sauerkraut back in September.
Well, I know if you take the top of the wild onions that go to seed, if you take a bunch of those and throw them out into a farmer's cow field, he'll kill you.
Why?
Because the cows eat the green onions and their milk tastes bad.
And their beef tastes oniony.
Well, with me, that would not be a drawback. But
Really?
I like onion with my steak.
I kept trying to buy a small bag of sulfur, gardening sulfur.
Yeah.
And the reason is there are certain things that need sulfur to taste right. Peppers, onions, garlic.
And it's a good snake deterrent if you throw a bag of sulfur under your house.
And scorpions.
I didn't know that.
Spiders and scorpions to run them off. We used to have 50-pound bags of it in Iraq, spread it around the bunkers.
There were big spiders out there.
And so anyway, I kept wanting to find. I don't need much, just a couple tablespoons, And so I went into Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware was having a clearance sale, and one of the things they had in their clearance sale in one of the clearance bins was a 1-pound bag of sulfur. I said, "Well, it's $3." So I bought it. So I got a bag of sulfur out here. I'm curious to see what to do with it, for my peppers and such.
But, you do know what that is 1/3 of the recipe for?
Yes.
Diatomaceous earth is a beautiful thing for keeping insects away from your plants.
Yes.
It's edible, and it is fine enough that it gets between the plates of most insects that have the hard shells, and it will cause the carapace to start grinding away, which will allow the insect to dehydrate and basically die quickly that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's edible. Not the insects. the diatomaceous earth.
Yes. I tried that stuff one year with my tomatoes, but it washed away too quick.
It's supposed to be good for putting around the inside of your windows and doors and around
Keeps
your
cockroaches away.
cockroaches, ants, and is supposed to be really good for taking care of fleas as well.
Yes.
Well,
that's one of the things.
anything with a chitinous exoskeleton, because it is hydrophilic.
Joe Dog has
it
carpal
soaks
tunnel
up
syndrome.
lots and lots of water. What? It's only an hour and a half in. It ain't quitting time yet.
I know. Well, I just got a notification your show's about to start.
Oh, is it? Who wants to start it this time?
Oh, did somebody else schedule it wrong too?
No, it's the Facebook notifications are horrible. We've been going an hour and a half.
That's the notification from Thursday.
Yeah.
Probably.
Which
Yeah.
month? Thursday, which month? It's
I love it. Sometimes that
1983.
Facebook will notify us that the show's about to start. Sometimes when the show starts, sometimes 5 minutes after we sign off.
Sometimes 2
YouTube.
days later.
Yeah,
Sometimes in the middle of the show, a week later.
I love that YouTube thinks they need to email me every time I start a live stream.
Yeah.
No, I know I hit go live.
Yeah, really?
It's
Going
when
back-
you're not home and you get that emails is what it's for.
Now it's scary because I have 2 people that can go live on the channel when I'm not home. And I will tell you, the first day it happened, it came through on my watch while I was making conversation with someone. And I went, what? Oh, okay, this is okay. Right, this is fine. Breathe.
Facebook has done this thing. I manage Armchair Rocket Science, the Stupid O'Clock page, and I help manage the Stupid O'Clock group. Well, for some reason, I don't know why, the Stupid O'Clock page has decided that I'm an administrator somehow. And every time I click on something on it, it kicks me over from John Scarborough to Stupid O'Clock administrator.
Don't you love it?
Even if someone else posts something and I just look at their post, it kicks me over to the Stupid administrator. And
then you got to figure out how to get back. And
no, that part's actually fairly easy, just annoying.
Once you know it,
Yeah.
it is.
yeah.
Now, Facebook on my iPad, when I try and look at anything that was posted to the Stupid O'Clock group, it takes me a good 10 minutes to figure out how to get back to my own page.
I'll be back in a second. I got
What
Doesn't it?
happened?
He'll be
Yeah.
back in a second.
Be right
That was
back.
all we got for his microphone. He turned his microphone off. So, it's all right. He hasn't left. He's just here with the voice only. Well,
Oh,
no,
wait.
not even voice only. He's got his microphone turned off.
So what's the next really exciting rocket launch, Zach?
Exciting one?
Well, I mean,
Probably Vulcan, the maiden flight of Vulcan.
oh, they're finally going to launch one of them things.
Yeah.
Well, there was an exciting launch tonight. North Korea launched a missile over one of our carriers.
Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? Yeah, I did an article on that. I don't normally touch those with a 1,000-foot pole, but because it went up to 5,700 kilometers in apogee, and I mean if this is the app, like the trajectory was on, the ISS was like over here. But I mean, if the ISS had been like one more orbit, it would have been a little close for comfort. So
can you imagine if the ISS took a picture of North Korea's rocket and like sent it back to them? Because nice rocket. Be a shame if something happened to it.
No, basically, they look down on North Korea, take a picture. Nice country. be a shame if
Shame
something happened to it.
Yeah, it's
They've posted photos of Pyongyang multiple times on NASA's blog.
Yeah, it's the only place with lights in the entire country at night.
Oh.
um,
Yeah.
And those
You
are
know,
all on the Imperial Palace.
Thought about going to it, but
And the thing is, we've got bombers that could drop bombs on North Korea and be almost home before North Korea knows they were on the way.
well, a few years ago, the U.S. said even if they by the time they launch one nuke towards the United States, in 7 minutes, the U.S. could respond taking it out and taking out the entire country, and that wouldn't even have been halfway to Hawaii.
now supposedly, they've got a massive bunker system for their military and most of their civilians.
North Korea?
That they
That
can
wouldn't surprise me.
mountains and mountains and mountains hollowed out and filled with bunkers,
Wouldn't
and they
surprise
think they can survive a nuclear war.
me.
Now, do they think they can dig out from under and open them doors again?
And we wouldn't even have to go nuclear. We got enough conventional to just erase the country.
Oh yeah,
Well, they lost a lot of people with
We've
COVID
had-
when they said COVID wasn't real. And they
we've
didn't
had
want to
enough
treat it.
conventional pre-position around North Korea for 70 years. It's-
Basically, all you need is 2 Boy Scout troops armed with slingshots. I mean, seriously, it's not like they're, aside from a few crazy folks, a major threat.
hey, I resemble that remark.
What happened, Rich?
So, needed to use restrooms, so I ran down the hall and figured Misty was about ready to go to bed. So, I meant to go in there and act all pissed off and be like, Misty Dawn, I have words for you. And I was going to say, I love you. You're the love of my life. See, those are words. They're for you. But when I opened the door and said her name, I scared her so badly that she and I were eye to eye. My
Wait a
wife is
minute.
5'1".
Yeah, and you're 6'52".
It gets worse. She was kneeling by the bed, praying. So from her knees, she levitated so that she was able to look me in the eyes at 6'4".
You are going to have to buy so many flowers.
I am going to have to buy a new set of underwear because I think she soiled them. So,
Well, at least it wasn't the chainmail ones you've been knitting.
Rich, I'm going to have to find that video I took of my wife. I used to do the ghost hunting stuff and had infrared cameras.
That was not what came to my mind when you said, I'm going to have to find that video of my wife.
All right.
Thank
Not the
God.
green room.
Needless to say, my wife in infrared has no eyes. Her eyes are that coal black demon eyes. And Dan will tell you,
What are you talking about infrared? I mean, you ain't got to wait that long. When she looks at you, when she looks at you, they're on fire, and not in the fun way, because you've usually pissed her off.
when you guys, well, Dan will tell you, my wife has the most beautiful blue eyes you have ever seen.
Oh,
I mean, they're
yes.
almost husky eyes.
They are crystal blue.
But if she looks at me and they turn white, I'll run. I mean, people have seen her eyes turn pure white and they like, oh shit. I mean, it's terrifying. You look at her through infrared and they do that.
really, the best way to tell whether or not Joe Dog has pissed his wife Donna off is,
She's in the
does
room
he
with him.
throw his cane down before he starts running? Because with that much terror, there's enough adrenaline where he don't limp no more.
Is she trying to wrap her arms around his neck or her hands around his neck?
It's more like the nearest telephone pole.
The closest thing within reach. What are you talking about? Nearest tele. Anything within reach, I run.
That woman could bend a crowbar if she could get it around his neck on certain occasions.
You've heard the stories of the pie in the face, haven't you?
Yeah.
She hit me so hard with a pie in the face, the back splatter was over 30 feet.
Now, like a normal pie or the practical joke pie that people are normally hit in the face with?
It was graham cracker crust with whipped cream.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And as she hit, she also lifted up. I swear it was the graham cracker crust that kept my nose from bleeding.
She's definitely trying to drive his nose back into his brain.
The graham cracker crust became a poultice.
Yeah. And John and Dan will tell you, when I tell him where I was sitting and how far it was back.
Wait a minute. There's pictures of this.
Yes.
There better be. I mean, seriously.
The
lawyer requested photographic proof.
Dan, John, I was sitting up towards the front part of the dance floor.
Uh-huh.
We had to clean whipped cream off the curtains.
Yeah. That's about 35 feet.
There's actually a video, and you could see the audience trying to dive out of the way. There's some pictures of some women in sheer horror.
No, that they were thinking, why didn't I think of that?
And the two professional wrestlers that were standing there beside us looked at each other and goes, "Yep, it's broke." Uh-huh.
You're on your own. Thank you very much. Good night.
A few months later, we were at another convention. One of the wrestlers was there, and he went ahead to put his face up for if they reached the goal, the pie in the face. Donna goes, "I'll do it." He goes, "Oh, hell no."
I like my nose the shape it's in. Thank you. You know, your Donna is one of the people that I definitely would try never to piss off in my lifetime.
Oh, absolutely.
You absolutely revel in pissing her off constantly.
Of course.
You've got a death wish, son.
Yeah.
You're going to wind up on Unsolved Mysteries, and they're going to be too scared of her to investigate.
No, they're going to look at this and go, "No, it was the wife." But yeah, we're not put down on the air.
Floor's still wet. Oh, nope. Not going there. Oh. Jesus,
I found the file.
Well, save it. You might want to get out of a jail cell sometime.
Oh, that's what let's see. Who SpaceX front page, the Facebook group, posted a picture showing all the Starlink satellites in orbit that are currently in orbit.
Mm-hmm. Saw the post.
And it's gorgeous. All
Oh,
those
it's
little red
nothing
dots.
yet. Times
Okay.
that. Times that by at least 5, possibly like 20.
Okay, Rich. Want to make sure you're looking.
Oh, no.
This is the incident.
How do we know that's you and not off Google? I'm kidding.
No, that definitely. Look at the smile on her face. It can't be anybody but
Yeah,
Joe Dog.
it is.
The thing is, you know, it wouldn't have been so bad if she didn't grab the back of my head.
She was playing cymbals. Clang, 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 clang.
And look at Arthur in the background getting the fuck out the way.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I take it that's the gentleman in the orange suspenders.
Yes.
Yes.
You notice he's holding a cane. He's trying to get the way. He's trying to get out of the way real fast for somebody. Like
Yeah, really.
I can't show the other photos right behind it, but I do not want to be demonetized.
Like we're ever going to get monetized. Oh.
Guys, I'll be honest with you. If this is before the hit.
Notice how the pan is a blur.
And there's this grimace on her face, like
That's not a grimace. That's a grin.
She had waited a long
I think
time
that's
for that.
like what weightlifters.
Oh.
That's like what weightlifters do before they do a 800-pound clean and jerk.
Notice the girl lady with the purple phone.
Yep.
Let me.
Probably had to wipe whipped cream off the lens of the phone.
I will now go to this. The purple phone. She's hiding the purple phone. She's pulling it back. Yeah, my wife loves me.
Roasting over an open fire with the tangy barbecue sauce.
Do what?
I said roasting over an open fire with the tangy barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
No. She loves him deeply, about 6 feet deeply.
Depends on the lake.
Hey, we've been married so long, we have mastered the art of hall sex. Do you know what that is, Rich?
Oh yeah, as you're saying "f you" to each other as you're passing in the hall.
No, we're full. We're to the point of actually throwing the birds too. Poor Zach's going, what have I gotten into? What have I gotten
I'm writing an article at the same time as doing this, and it is very what?
Do you know
What
how
have I gotten myself
dangerous?
into?
Do you
These
know how
old people are
dangerous it
talking
is
about
to
really
write an
rich, but
article while we're talking about this stuff? Because you're gonna have to really go back and proofread that.
Really. There may be some cross contamination in the article.
No, I just did. It's on Perseverance marked 2 years today on Mars.
Yeah, we actually covered that on the Rocket Science show. I think that's before we started, before I found your channel. That's about time.
I was like 40 days in to doing this. So
Have you seen that picture? Have you seen that picture of the wheels on the Curiosity rover? I think it was
the one that are all like broken up and stuff.
It has gotten so much mileage that those metal wheels. It's ridiculous how much damage those things have taken and are still working.
Well,
And
and
it's-
they're amputating one of them. They're amputating at least one of them.
Now, Wasn't Curiosity only supposed to last 2 years?
They were all supposed to last almost nothing.
Yeah, really.
But I mean, we were surprised they even landed in one piece, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'll see if I can find the picture of what you're talking about with the wheels, because it's quite startling that the wheels.
It's
are
dramatic
disintegrating.
picture.
And the little helicopter was only guaranteed for 90 days.
Well, the little helicopter was only supposed to fly, if it was lucky, 5 times. 3 days ago, it completed its 42nd flight. So it was not supposed to be like a primary mission objective for this campaign, and they've had to rewrite the entire campaign for Ingenuity, but also for Perseverance. So what they're doing is they're flying the helicopter forward, taking radar scopes, and then replanning Perseverance route to find different targets. It's ridiculous how much they're changing this on the game, but they didn't know it worked. But now the recovery mission they're going to do in a few years, the people are going to be there with SpaceX before the NASA gets there. But the recovery mission with NASA and ESA is going to now use 2 helicopters to fly video game crane, pick up the samples, and then fly them back to the rocket to fly up to an orbiter, dock, transfer, and then shoot that home.
All right.
Now, have they?
I need to apply for that job. I was awesome at the arcade
The
cranes.
Kramer claws.
Now here's the thing, like Zach says, SpaceX will already have people there. What they'll do is have it all gathered.
They'll hold up the samples and go, look what we found.
No, they'll hold their hands out and the helicopters will fly up and get it out. Oh, damn.
So that's part of Curiosity's wheel.
Which wheel is that?
I believe it's multiple of them that are. Here's a better.
That looks like a right rear wheel.
Yeah, they've all
just
had
running down from friction or
friction and hitting rocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did that not change?
I mean, face it, the surface of Mars is worse than the Alabama back road.
So this was them analyzing some of the wheels and like looking around them for damage on it. Now, on the top of it, you can see there's like dots on the wheel. JPL likes leaving hidden messages on Mars, so that actually spells out. I think it's like I'm from Earth, JPL something, as it drives around. But they're now having to figure out how to amputate the wheel because it's causing so much damage that it's risking actually like destroying the mission. So they've rebuilt the wheel on Earth, caused similar damage to it, and transfer this to this other image. Oh, here, let's change the window. That'll work better. And it won't stop. So they're studying how to use a Martian sharp rock as a knife. And they're just going to rock it back and forth and cut 3/4 of the wheel off and leave it with like a hub, the spare. And it'll be enough for it to function.
I see.
And then they hope that fixes it. So it keeps going, but...
And realize this wheel is what, 10 years old?
Something
12
like
years
that.
old?
Something
Pretty
like
good
that,
for tire.
Yeah, and they're not tiny when you look at the actual scale of them. Stop.
They're like 8 inches. Curiosity's golf cart, right?
Curiosity and Perseverance are identical except for their arm.
Oh, okay.
They're like sister bots.
Okay, so they say it's almost SUV size.
7 foot.
Yeah. So
Or,
I haven't heard an update on that in a while. Everyone's been talking about Perseverance and kind of forgot that Curiosity exists.
Now, have they thought of using the helicopter to hover over the solar cells and blow dust off of them?
It's too far away. It's like a third of the planet away.
Well, not the one that dropped that it went with, right?
Perseverance doesn't have power issues. Insight does.
Well, I mean, seriously,
But yes.
if it keeps going, it might.
Yeah, down the road it might. And that's one thing people are holding their hopes out for with Insight is the final messages that went to it, they programmed telling it, if you ever get power again, call home. And they have one person, one computer that is always going to monitor, waiting for a signal from Insight. If it gets a dust devil to clear off its solar panels,
Yeah,
it's a
that would be.
charge.
Yeah.
Now,
So
which one is that one?
That is Curiosity.
That's a
But it's
fairly
near-
good. That's
but
a
they're near
fairly good size.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying, like, throw a couple seats on it. We've got our early rovers for Mars.
Mm.
And we could send them without, theoretically, like, it'd be a bare minimum, but it would work. And there's a lot on them. There's a lot of science on those. I didn't even realize how much Perseverance had done until writing this article. It's done.
All right, my turn to run down the hall. I'll be right back.
It's done 166,000 images, over 676,000 subsurface soundings with ground-penetrating radar. It's zapped over 230,500 rocks and recorded over 662 audio recordings in 2 years. So we'll see what it does as it keeps going.
Busy little bugger, ain't it?
Yeah. Well, they've expanded its mission because it did its first stuff.
And the death ray has killed 150,000 Martians.
We don't talk about that part.
There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Well, the first sample it tried to do didn't work, but they didn't want to call it a failure, so they called it an atmospheric sample. The dirt they scooped missed. So it just captured Martian air.
Hey, well, that'll come in useful too. I mean, I know lots of folks that wouldn't mind having a little sample of Martian atmosphere to work with.
But how are you? How are you going to work with? You're going to get that home, this little tube. You're going to have to suck out all the air in a tube to open it, and then put a little spigot on the side to like put little samples. And it's like that doesn't.
Believe me, humans are ingenious about making the most out of damn near nothing.
I would assume they would take and do the same type of analysis that they would from the fumes for an arson investigation.
Yeah, that would be a useful approach to take.
Hi, Joe.
Quit.
That's frightening.
All right, yeah, it's time to jump out.
Yep.
Dan, let's have that talk tomorrow, sometime tomorrow afternoon.
All right. Message me. I'll be awake somewhere after the butt crack of noon.
Okay. May want to include John in on this too.
Definitely.
Okay. So we'll probably meet at the in one of the side rooms that I've got set up in there.
Okay, just send me the link.
All right. Let's go ahead and guys, we got to say goodnight, everybody, so Dan can get his show started.
Good night,
Plus, I got to find the outro and everything. All right. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.